Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome to reading for, this is your January bonus reading. You have this Come to the Edge card and this To Be Fair card. This Come to the Edge card kind of represents pushing yourself to that point where you would normally give up on something and then going just a little bit further. So I do think it would be a good time for you to kind of push yourself or to, and again, we definitely don't want to burn ourselves out during a Mars retrograde. So, we're not talking about like crazy amounts of effort, but, I think, and this doesn't even have to be effort, right? This could just be, sticking with something longer than you normally would, like, especially if you're working on like a project, a business, an idea, a plan, a goal, a wish, a dream, whatever it is. It could just represent like sticking with it a little bit longer than you normally would and seeing where it goes. It could also represent like trying something new or trying something different that you have never tried before. And I forgot to pull the last two cards here. For your current, we're doing a Celtic cross, so for your current general energies, how you're entering into the month or the reading, you have the Five of Wands. Five of Wands can be conflict or competition. It's like a good, bad reading. Like, I think there's there's definitely a lot of good stuff here, but there is, some sort of challenge showing up here as well. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Although I will say you have the Four of Swords. So the Five of Wands can represent like battling or going through a battle, and then you have the Four of Swords as your crossing energy, which we'll talk about. But this could say that you need to take a break from something, especially if you are like trying to force something to happen. We have that To Be Fair card, which is all about balance. So again, if you're banging your head against a wall, like I said, I think it's important that you push yourself past that point where you would normally give up. But that doesn't mean that you can't take breaks, right? That doesn't mean that you can't balance your energies. So I think that the Five of Wands is encouraging you to balance your energies and just balance things out in general. You have the Four of Swords as your crossing energy. Again, crossing energy can be what hurts you or helps you in the Celtic cross. And so the Four of Swords is about resting, relaxing, recovering. I think that you are probably praying for some sort of blessing here. There's a person right here who's blessing another person. And so it's like you're hoping or praying for something. And I don't know. That's like all I get. But you do have the Magician here. And so it's like you are trying to manifest something in your life. He's pointing to the devil. And, usually we look at the devil as a toxic energy or, a person who's toxic. But, the devil could be anything. And again, we're going to clarify this reading and we'll see what it is. But, the devil does not have to be a bad thing. It could also be a Capricorn, if you're like trying to attract love, for example, which in the area of what's on your mind or what's on your thoughts, you have the Two of Cups, which definitely could be a strong connection coming in for you. So if you're hoping for love, the Two of Cups can be a person who's different than your usual type, and that could be why the Magician is pointing to the devil. The Magician, you might be thinking like, is this person a devil or are they a good person, right? Or something like that. What I would say is more important than that, Aquarius, is that the Two of Cups in the area of your thoughts, the Two of Cups can be you and your higher self. And so the Two of Cups is like communication with your higher self. So I would be paying attention to any like signs, symbols, synchronicities, dreams, daydreams, all that stuff. I would be paying attention to those types of messages that you're having and just kind of like, pay attention to communicating with your higher self. This could also be about making time to communicate with your higher self through like meditation, going for walks or however it is that you connect, then I would be doing that. In the area of your foundation, you have the Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups can be a knight in shining armor, of course, so there definitely could be a person coming in for you. This could also be your dream, though. We go from the Knight of Cups up to the Magician to the King of Cups, and so we'll talk about that in a minute, but the King of Cups can represent kind of like going somewhere you've never been before, and like I said, we'll talk more about that when we get to the King of Cups, but I kind of feel that some of you maybe have a dream or something that you want to accomplish, and this could represent doing things you've never done before. Come to the edge. It's like for you to exceed your expectations, you have to do things you've never done before, and I kind of get that energy throughout the entire reading. Next, in the area of your past or the energy that you're moving past, you have this lighthouse. It says you're a light that can't be hidden, so don't ever try to dim it for anyone. You have the spirit world. It says your spirit guides are sending you helpful people and opportunities your way, so really good. I would definitely be paying attention to new connections, or it could even be old connections I'm getting. So, again, there could be people in your life that are very helpful right now. And even though this is coming up in the past, it doesn't really matter. It could be people that are helping you right now. So I would be paying attention to those connections. Definitely feel it's time for Aquarius to glow, with that lighthouse card. I mean, we have Pluto and Aquarius, and I definitely feel like Aquarius are going to be the stars of the next several years. So I would be doing whatever you can to shine your inner light. You have the Page of Pentacles also in the past. Like, I get, like, heavy thinking energy here, which I guess makes sense. You're an Aquarius, but, I get this, like, heavy thinking type of energy. He's looking at this pentacle, and, the good news is that it's coming up in the past. And so I think for a lot of you that you've been looking at an opportunity or something that could be an opportunity, and I'm literally getting everything here, Aquarius. Like, the opportunity that you've been looking at could be love, could be business. It's going to be different for all of you because you're all different. But I think you've been heavily thinking about an opportunity. And really that's all I get there on that card. Next, in the area of the very near future, you have this relax card. And this, didn't I make a relax? I swear you had this card with me recently because I said, relax, Aquarius. I love when people tell me to relax, right? But you have this relax and adventure card. I do feel this is saying, it would be a good time to go with the flow, especially if you're like doing something new or thinking about going on an adventure. Then I would just like relax into it and just see where the wind blows you. I think that's like the best bet with this energy. It's it's kind of giving me the energy of not having any attachments to outcomes, and I think that would be best. Also, in the very near future, you have the Magician. The Magician can be your card, Aquarius, but the Magician is about kind of manifesting something into your life. Kind of the funny thing I get here, by the way, is that if you are trying to manifest love with the Devil here, this to me kind of says, like, be careful what you wish for, but like not in a bad way. What I think it's saying is that you are more thinking, like, if I allow love into my life, is it going to interrupt my peace, right? And so I think that's what the Devil is. I don't know. We'll see when we clarify, but I kind of get that feeling here. The Magician is also a card of reinvention. He has a snake wrapped around his waist here, and the snake is Ouroboros, which represents reinvention. It really wouldn't surprise me if a lot of you Aquarians were reinventing yourselves or changing yourself up over the next several years with Pluto in your sign. Makes perfect sense. So you could be reinventing yourself in some way. Next, in your outcome row, you have this Hawk Spirit says, let Spirit be your guide. Two of Cups, for sure. Two of Cups says, listen to your higher self, however you do it. You have this Lizard Spirit says, dream the world into being. Yes, if you can dream it, you can have it. I also kind of feel like that Lizard Spirit and also the Come to the Edge card are kind of like saying, don't give up. So if you are working towards something specific, I think that it's going to be important for you to kind of follow through and see something through to the end with this energy. You have in the area of your next few months, you have the Devil. I don't think this is a person. I think that this is multiple circumstances now that I'm touching the card. I feel like the Devil is about control, and I feel like the Devil is kind of encouraging you to not hold yourself back. It's kind of hard to see because I had to color in these cards because YouTube is run by 3-year-olds, but, the chains hang down to here, basically on their necks. They're very long. And the whole point of the Devil is that those people could easily take those chains off and they could set themselves free. And so I think you need to be careful of the influences in your life. I'm not even getting that this is a person or anything specific. I feel like this is multiple influences in your life. Like sometimes I think we grow up and we hold ourselves back because we're like, oh, what will my parents think if I do this, right? Well, it's like, who cares? You're an adult. So do it anyway, right? And so that's what I mean by influences. It could be friends, it could be people, it could be family, it could be whatever. But, I kind of feel this is encouraging you to set yourself free from, those types of influences. And again, I don't think tarot has to be drama, right? I don't think this is saying oh, you have to cut your parents out of your life because you're afraid of what they think. No, of course not. I think it's saying the influence, just realizing that it's just your brain, kind of tricking you out of something. I think just working on those influences and realizing that, what other people think doesn't matter, that will probably set you free. In the area of your closest relationships, you have the Ten of Swords. I do think you've had a difficult endings, multiple in the past. I actually feel pretty good about this Ten of Swords. He's making the symbol with his hands right here, and it can represent a blessing in disguise. So again, I think that you actually could be doing a lot of healing in your connections or in your closest relationships. I do feel for a small percentage of you that you could be seeing, like, I don't think that someone is stabbing you in the back, but I do feel like, let's say you're working with a person, like on a project or something like that, I do feel like you could be seeing their true colors, is kind of what's popping into my head with the Ten of Swords. Or it's like you could be seeing below the surface, like what's really going on with a person. I get the like, if that's you, if that makes sense to you, I feel like you really need to trust it, just so you don't get screwed in the future. Like, I kind of feel it's like I really don't have any good examples, but it's like, sometimes it's like, let's say you're working with a person who has a really bad reputation. It's like, I feel like that could come back on you in the future. You might be working with a person who doesn't have a bad reputation, but is about to have a bad reputation for something. That's also popping into my head. So again, if you sense something about a person, I think you really need to trust it. And it feels like work to me. So there you go. Next, in the area of your future feelings, you have the King of Cups. As far as he is the card of feelings. He is sitting in the middle of the ocean, and he has explored his emotions to a very deep level. And the whole point of the card is that he understands how he feels about everything, and so he's able to, control the direction of his life much better because he has explored his emotions. We also have this boat right here. And the boat on the King of Cups represents something very specific. It represents a time where our ancestors would get on boats and they wouldn't know where they were going. And so it's kind of like a card of opening up to adventure, or a card of going on adventures or moving in new directions, which I also think would be, you could be feeling very adventurous in the future, which is good. Your outcome is amazing. It's the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is everything you want and desire in your life. Pretty much everyone gets the Ten of Pentacles nowadays. We're getting to the end of Uranus and Taurus, and Uranus and Taurus is all about kind of like freedom. And I also think that, since Uranus went into Taurus, the Ten of Pentacles has come up like crazy for pretty much everyone, but definitely you fixed signs get this all the time. And so I think Uranus and Taurus wants us to create more stability, security, long-term things as well. I think of the Ten of Pentacles as a card of kind of like establishment, meaning that we are establishing things in our lives that last for a long time, like relationships, businesses, careers, whatever it is. And so a lot of you, could be more focused, or you could really be working on establishing things like successful projects or things that you'll do for a long time into your life, which is good, of course. So let's see here, Aquarius. With the Five of Wands and the Four of Swords, you have the Nine of Swords. Yeah, definitely some sort of cycle that needs to come to an end. This could just be inner conflict, like I said, with the Five of Wands. But the Nine of Swords is a never-ending nightmare. It is kind of like a round and round type situation. With this Come to the Edge card, I think that it will be important for you to kind of get out of a comfort zone so that you can break a cycle, especially if something's been repeating for too long. With the Two of Cups, you have the King of Swords. King of Swords is a card of like knowledge and wisdom, and he has the most knowledge and wisdom out of all the kings. Like I said, if you have your eye on a person, it could be a person you haven't talked to. I always think of the King of Swords or the Queen of Swords as like maybe a person that you haven't communicated with yet, or even a person you don't even know yet. So again, you could be thinking about love, and there could be a person coming in the future with the King of Swords energy. With the Knight of Cups, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is material success on the horizon. So the Knight of Cups can definitely represent working on a dream. All he has to do is plant seeds in front of that water and they will grow, even though he's standing in the desert. Eight of Pentacles is like, we think of it as a card of apprenticeship and mastery. He's learning to become a master of his craft on this card. But it's also a card of like material success on the horizon. We have the Ten of Pentacles at the end. So if you are working on a specific skill, or if you're developing a skill, really, really good energy for you here, Aquarius. With the Page of Pentacles, you have the Six of Wands. More about shining your inner light. You have that lighthouse card. What did it say? It said it says don't ever dim your light for anyone. And the Six of Wands, normally there's a guy on the horse and he's getting attention from everyone around him. Normally there's a person right here, and that person is meant to look jealous of the guy on the horse. So again, sometimes if people are jealous or whatever, we dim our light so we don't upset other people. But I think the reading itself is saying that it's time for you to shine bright. It's time for you to get your inner light out into the world so that you can be an inspiration to other people. And if that makes people uncomfortable, well, that's on them. That's not your problem. And so don't dim your light. With the Magician, you have the Lovers. I'm telling you, I definitely feel you could be attracting love for sure. It could be a Capricorn. It could be any sign. You have basically everything here, but I think you are attracting love. The Lovers is usually a new person, so it could be you attracting a new person. The Lovers can also say that you have a choice to make at this time, just in general in your life. And the Magician would be pointing you in a new direction. So I think that, if you're thinking about your life in general and like what you want to create, a lot of you could be picking new paths, or, it might be a path you've been thinking about for a long time, but, you could be finally creating. With the Devil, you have the Queen of Swords. I do not like the King and Queen of Swords together. These are, really, they're two people who don't see eye to eye. Now, for whatever reason, I don't necessarily think this is a problem. I think this is just two people who aren't talking, is what I would say here, Aquarius. I feel like I've said this to you before. It could be another air sign as well, because we have the King and Queen of Swords. It could be a person who has like air in their chart or something as well. But, I think there is maybe too much thinking going on here. It's like sometimes I think we psych ourselves out, and we think too many things. So I don't know. The Queen of Swords is a card of clarity. It's like you probably will gain clarity on the situation if you're looking for a connection. But I do think, if you want this to be something, then obviously something needs to change between these two. With the Ten of Swords, you have the Chariot. Definitely victory. I think you're just taking control of your life, really. This is showing up in the area of your closest relationships, which is all relationships. And the Chariot would be kind of like taking control. It would also be moving away. So, like I said earlier, if you're seeing someone's true colors in any area of life, you could be really kind of running away from that person. And again, that would be probably a good thing, because I was getting something about reputation here, and like needing to be careful of your own reputation. It's like, even if you don't do bad things, if you are associated with a person who does bad things, that can also hurt your reputation, whether it's true or not, right? And so I would definitely, it's just something I would think about here, Aquarius. I'm not, again, I don't think tarot should tell you what to do, but, if you feel that someone's reputation is going to reflect poorly on you in the future, then it's, again, it's definitely something I would think about. With the King of Cups, you have the Wheel of Fortune. I think that you need to change your own fortunes. The Wheel of Fortune is a change in our fortunes, but the Wheel of Fortune is our destiny, but it is our destiny as we see it. I don't really think of the Wheel of Fortune as necessarily like the destiny that we are meant to live. Ultimately, the reason being is because we control it, the Wheel of Fortune. The wheel is always spinning in whatever direction it wants. Most people live in what I call the washing machine of life. They don't really do anything to control the direction of the wheel, but we can do a bunch of things to control the wheel. We can control our vibrations. We can double down on the good stuff, get rid of the bad stuff just as quickly. We can educate ourselves. We can learn about things that we don't know. The Wheel of Fortune usually has a Sphinx at the top of it, which represents mystery. But the Wheel of Fortune also says, don't let secrets be secrets. Learn, learn the things that you don't know, and that could also improve your life. With the Ten of Pentacles, you have the Page of Pentacles. I'm kind of getting good news on the Page of Pentacles right here. I also think the Page of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles is a card of studiousness, and so it can represent learning, just like I just said. And so I think like self-education will be important for you as well. You have this needle and thread. It says, a sincere wish will be granted. Love it. Definitely could be some sort of wish. I mean, it's a really good reading. And also you have the Four of Swords and the Magician, which is like trying to manifest a blessing. And so if there is something that you're wishing for or hoping for, then, I definitely feel this Magician is, pointing to this Devil and saying you could be manifesting something. The other thing is the Magician to the Devil can simply represent putting in the work. The Devil is Saturn and Capricorn, and it can just say that, sure, you can have whatever you want, but you have to put the work in. So again, the Devil does not have to be a bad card. Can't make this up. This card says news is on the way. So like I said on that Page of Pentacles, I was definitely getting like good news or something like that. So if you're waiting for communication or information or guidance, I think, all of those things are possible. And you have this cracked cup card. It says dissatisfaction with life. I really like this card actually because sometimes I think that dissatisfaction is a thing that motivates us to make a change. And I definitely feel that if things are not changing, the dissatisfaction could be motivating you to make a change. I'm going to pull these next two cards together. I'm actually going to pull you an extra card. They're just, I think they're the same thing, more or less. You have this card that says, a two-faced friend. What were we talking about this whole entire time? You also have this card. It says, someone is behaving stupidly. I would pay attention to someone's actions. I'm telling you right now, again, I don't think tarot is meant to scare people or anything like that. I don't even think anything bad is going to happen here. I just think that it's important that you pay attention to your reputation, especially in work or business, or if you're in social media or like YouTube or something like that. I would pay attention to your reputation because I was getting something about your reputation with the Ten of Swords. And, I would just be careful who you associate with. I think, the obvious thing to me is that I think you will see it. Like I said, you will see this person's true colors, so trust it. You have this moon. It says changes in your life. Yeah, you're in a time of change. Pluto and Aquarius, so definitely plenty of changes. But this looks good overall. So thank you for being here, Aquarius, and definitely enjoy your month.